NASA astronauts in peril, Boeing Starliner delays spark urgent rescue plan today. We've got some unsettling news about Boeing Starliner, a spacecraft that has been facing serious technical issues lately, raising significant doubts about its capability to safely return to Earth. This is particularly alarming because it could lead to a terrifying scenario where NASA astronauts might be stranded on the International Space Station. Yes, you heard that right. This concern has been officially confirmed by experienced experts who also stress the urgency of a rescue mission using SpaceX's Crew Dragon. So, stick around as we dive into all the details in today's episode. As many of you might already know, Boeing Starliner has once again delayed its return date. Initially scheduled to return on June 14, the date was then pushed to June 18, and now it's been further postponed to June 22. This delay means that astronauts will be staying on the ISS for an additional 16 days, which is twice the originally planned duration. This extra time is crucial for astronauts and engineers to address a number of pressing issues, including helium leaks, thruster glitches, and other technical problems that have emerged. A Boeing spokesperson mentioned that the integrated NASA Boeing Starliner mission management team is closely monitoring the spacecraft's overall health and strictly adhering to mission flight rules. Despite the smallest helium leak discovered after docking, before the system was closed, they assure us that there's approximately 70 hours of free flight activity left, with full redundancy in all critical systems. However, despite these positive statements, there is a widespread concern about the risk of NASA astronauts being stranded in space on the ISS. The Boeing Starliner can remain docked at the ISS for a maximum of 45 days due to its limited fuel capacity in the orbiting laboratory. But what happens if the issues remain unresolved beyond that time frame? Has NASA planned for this worst-case scenario? This situation could have been smoother if Boeing and NASA had conducted more thorough safety checks and adhered strictly to safety protocols to ensure the Starliner was completely safe before launching. This concern is echoed by a NASA contractor who urged the American Space Agency to guarantee Starliner's safety before launch. A president of a valve tech company raised alarms about the June 6 launch, warning that proceeding with the launch might be risky. Despite these warnings, Starliner launched on schedule from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida on June 5, hours after separating from the Atlas rocket. 2 more leaks were discovered, with the fourth one found after docking on June 6 and the most recent on June 10. To add to the chaos, 4 thrusters malfunctioned during the flight, further complicating the situation. Now, to sort out this mess, officials might have to extend Starliner's stay on the ISS indefinitely. Why indefinitely? Let's hear from the experts. Mike Gruntman, professor of astronautics at the University of Southern California, expressed his disappointment that after so many delays, Boeing Starliner still faces significant issues. He suggested that these problems likely stem from manufacturing issues, pointing to systemic problems with design, workmanship, or testing. Rudy Readily, former Space Systems Commander and Space Technology Acquisition Manager, added that the last thing you want is to conduct maintenance in orbit. He emphasized that Boeing has consistently faced problems with Starliner, and without thorough third-party verification, these issues are likely to persist. Despite the delays, the same components keep having the same problems, which points to a lack of proper oversight and quality control. Readily's perspective highlights the broader challenges facing Boeing, suggesting that the company's internal processes might need a comprehensive review and overhaul to prevent such issues in the future. On a more positive note, Readily pointed out that being on the ISS is far better than being in a situation like Apollo 13, trying to get home from the moon. He wouldn't be surprised if NASA is preparing a SpaceX Dragon capsule for a potential rescue mission. According to NASA's internal schedule, the Dragon Crew 9 mission is set for no earlier than August, which means there might be a handover with NASA's SpaceX Crew 8 mission. This preparation indicates that NASA is considering all possible scenarios to ensure the safety of its astronauts, even if it means relying on SpaceX's proven capabilities. Mike Gruntman believes that SpaceX could provide an additional launch to bring the astronauts back if necessary. Katsuyuki Ura, professor of aerospace engineering at New York University, echoed this sentiment, suggesting that given the current situation, NASA might opt to use SpaceX's Crew Dragon for a safe return of the astronauts. The feasibility of this plan would depend on the severity of the helium leaks, the possibility of in-space repairs, and the logistics of arranging another spacecraft for the return mission. This potential reliance on SpaceX underscores the importance of having multiple reliable partners in space exploration and highlights SpaceX's growing role in supporting NASA's missions. What do you think? Is a rescue mission aboard SpaceX Dragon necessary? If you agree, let us know in the comments. If you find this information useful, please share, like, and subscribe. Your support motivates us to create more quality content. Now, let's delve into how the failure of the Starliner project might impact Boeing's overall situation. This is likely a question on many minds. To be honest, space is just one part of Boeing's defense, space, and security business unit, which generated 32% of the company's revenue in 2023, amounting to nearly $25 billion. This figure also includes non-space activities such as military helicopters, fighter jets, and munitions contracts. Meanwhile, Boeing's commercial aircraft business brought in nearly $33 billion, making up 44% of the company's revenue in 2023. Despite the commercial plane troubles that have cost Boeing at least $32 billion since 2019, the space sector still plays a crucial role. Boeing has a long history in space, with significant contributions to the Apollo missions and the construction and operation of the International Space Station. In 2014, Boeing won a $4.2 billion contract from NASA for the Commercial Crew Program, much higher than SpaceX's contract at the time. However, the Starliner has remained in the warehouse for a decade, which raises questions about Boeing's ability to deliver on its commitments in the competitive space sector. In 2019, NASA announced its intent to purchase up to 10 SLS core stages from Boeing under a cost-plus contract. This type of contract benefits Boeing significantly because it ensures that all development costs are covered plus a fee, often around 10%. However, this doesn't incentivize quick progress, as the longer the contract, the more money Boeing makes. This occurred as Boeing's 737 MAX faced global grounding after 2 fatal crashes, adding to Boeing's financial troubles. The SLS project has cost NASA $1.8 billion over 11 years, covering development work through the Artemis I launch in November 2022. Boeing continues to secure valuable contracts, but the company's revenue from NASA collaborations remains largely secret. Despite these challenges, Boeing's efforts in space seem to be struggling, signaling a potentially dark future. The decline in Boeing's space efforts could have broader implications for the company's overall stability and its ability to compete with newer, more agile companies like SpaceX. Moreover, the repeated issues with the Starliner could damage Boeing's reputation, not just in the space sector but across its entire range of operations. Trust is crucial in aerospace, where safety and reliability are paramount. Continuous technical problems and delays can erode customer confidence and lead to a preference for competitors who demonstrate consistent performance and innovation. Boeing's management will need to address these challenges head-on, potentially restructuring internal processes and investing in new technologies to regain its footing. That wraps it up for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Stay safe and keep exploring. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We appreciate your engagement and support as we navigate these complex issues in the world of space exploration.